Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, Your Excellency, the First Lady, Janet Museveni, Your Excellency, the Vice President, Right Honorable Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Ministers, Cabinet Ministers, traditional leaders, religious leaders, members of parliaments, distinguished guests here with us, and let me borrow a leaf from my predecessor, who gave a long list of all the people here and say all protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor for me and my colleagues here today to join you to commemorate International Women's Day 2023. The theme of this day, Digital, Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality, could not be more apt and relevant to the world we live in today. Technology is indeed redefining the future of our work and will influence our lives in immeasurable ways in the days to come. Women in particular are more and more aware that technology is critical to ensure better livelihoods and more productive futures for them, their families, and their communities. The COVID pandemic brought into sharp focus the importance of embracing technology that cuts across the gender divide and puts us all on an equal footing. Mobile and internet solutions rose to the fore, offering continuity of schooling, services, and businesses for many. And for the 80% of women in self-employment, adopting new IT skills and adopting new technology was key to their survival. Promoting greater access to innovative solutions is not only an offered opportunity for women to grow, but also to contribute effectively to Uganda's economic recovery and long-term growth. Your Excellency, we are grateful that today you will launch the Generating Growth Through Opportunities and Productivity for Women Enterprises project, also known as GROW. This US $217 million project is financed entirely as a grant from the World Bank's IDA, or International Development Association arm, and its 800 billion Uganda shilling financing aims to support women enterprises, many of which have not yet made the transition from a micro to small or a small to medium enterprise. So this financing will help them to make that leap. GROW is intended to provide a significant boost towards economic and social transformation by empowering and enabling the advancement of women entrepreneurs in line with the NDP 3 goal of promoting women's economic empowerment, leadership, and participation. Uganda is not only one of the most entrepreneurial countries in the world, but it also has the highest proportion of women-owned businesses in the Africa region. So while women-led firms never grow past the micro level, around 80% of them are not transitioning from micro to small, while male-owned firms are twice as likely to do so. And I think this is really the opportunity we have to make sure that we help to push women across this hurdle. Several factors limit women's ability to take advantage of economic opportunities. These accumulate throughout childhood, adolescence, and adulthood, culminating in women's exclusion from growth-oriented private enterprises. They include gender discriminatory barriers in accessing finance, including lack of land title, skills mismatch and occupational segregation, lack of access to infrastructure and facilities such as childcare facilities, and limited access to markets. And lastly, as highlighted by the theme of this International Women's Day, limited access to technology, information, and opportunities to build skills and networks. Initiatives to support women entrepreneurs have not been lacking, such as the Women Entrepreneurship Program and Youth Livelihoods Program. We are therefore pleased that the GROW project will augment these ongoing efforts by further bridging the finance gap and enabling a more rapid scale-up in opportunities to boost women's productivity and enhance the growth orientation of their enterprises. GROW will deliver a multi-sectorial program that pairs financing, so both loans and grants, with business development services and productive infrastructure, including support for childcare. The project will take extra steps to incorporate gender-specific design considerations into loan products, such as flexible collateral requirements and loan terms, to overcome barriers in accessing credit. For example, the Private Sector Foundation Uganda will design gender-specific financial products, and Makerere University Business School will develop a curriculum targeting female entrepreneurs to be rolled out by specialized organizations in all regions of the country. GROW will also support refugee women who face more barriers when it comes to starting and growing businesses. Working with the Office of the Prime Minister, the GROW project will promote social cohesion by forging economic development opportunities for women, both the hosts and the refugees in the refugee hosting districts, to work together towards this economic empowerment agenda. Your Excellency, you have and continue to be a champion for empowering women and girls. Several decades of affirmative action have enabled women in Uganda to scale barriers in education, leadership, and entrepreneurship, to mention just a few items. So it is our hope that the additional financing provided through GROW will significantly enhance these achievements and enable women in small and medium enterprises to generate large economic gains for households, communities, and the country at large. Let me end by reiterating the World Bank Group's commitment to supporting the government of Uganda to realize its vision of a modern and prosperous society in the next 2 decades. Happy Women's Day 2023 to you all, and thank you for your attention. Okay.
Your Excellency and Mama, let me take this opportunity to introduce and standing on all the other established protocols. Firstly, I bring you greetings from the United Nations family here in Uganda. The 29 entities that work here, 2/3 of which are in the country, have sent Paulina Chiwangu, the UN Women representative, and myself to be with you on this very, very important occasion. I am really delighted to be here today, representing our UN family. I express our sincere thanks to the Ministry of Gender, Labor, and Social Development and the National Organizing Committee for a great job in organizing this wonderful commemoration. Your Excellency, the UN system in Uganda recognizes and applauds the government of Uganda for her continuous commitments to innovation, technology, and education in the digital age as important tools for promoting gender equality as outlined in Vision 2040, which identifies ICT as a fundamental aspect to foster Uganda's transformation into a modern and prosperous country. It outlines interventions under the ICT sector to uplift the most disadvantaged population, including women. Relatedly, the third National Development Plan commits government to focus on promoting the use of ICT in the entire economy and society through digital inclusion and citizen participation, promoting innovation and commercialization of ICT products, and enhancing digital literacy and developing skills, among others. This year's theme of equal opportunity in education, science, and technology for innovation and a gender-equal future recognizes the catalytic role that advancing gender equality can have on our overall development agenda. Bringing women and other marginalized groups into technology results in more creative solutions and has greater potential for innovations that meet women's needs and promote gender equality. Yet, even as the work has been ongoing and continues, I think we all agree that the reality is women still enjoy less than their appropriate share of the overall development progress we are making globally and nationally, across all the SDG areas in poverty reduction, education, health, decent jobs, etc. Great inequality still remains across board, with women faring less well. In his message for International Women's Day, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres notes that women's exclusion from the digital world has shaved an estimated $1 trillion from the GDP of low and middle income countries in the last decade, a loss that could grow to $1.5 trillion by 2025 if we don't take drastic action. End of quote. Our Global Sustainable Development Goals framework really takes a holistic approach to assess what is required for sustainable development and really prioritizes gender equality as both a standalone and a cross-cutting goal, because the analysis is without significant progress towards gender equality and women's empowerment, we will not meet those SDG goals. And I think the same logic applies for the National Development Agenda, which is that national articulation of the Sustainable Development Goals, that without significant progress in gender equality and empowerment, we will not get to Vision 2040. According to the Uganda Communications Commission, I think a statistic from June 2022, there are 25 million phones that are connected to the network. Of these 25 million phones, about 10.9 have access to internet. This is a significant progress. The benefits of the internet, however, has not reached everybody equally, especially in the underserved areas of Uganda. This limited access to the internet has created a digital divide, which previous speakers have talked about, which impacts the overall progress. And of course, one of the major challenges is the deficit in infrastructure, including electricity, internet, cables, and telecommunication masts or towers. Another significant challenge, of course, is the high cost of internet, which has also been mentioned. There have been great efforts recently that the government has deployed to reduce the cost of internet by NITA and others, but the cost is still, unfortunately, too high. There is need to expand the coverage of the national backbone to bring on board all parts of the country and that benefit especially rural women, including institutions such as schools, community libraries, health centers, and local government offices to facilitate efficient service delivery. Of course, two pillars to advance this agenda. The first one is education. We need to continuously work to eradicate the barriers at every level of education for all our children, especially girls. Barriers such as fees and requirements charged by universal primary education schools, which the most vulnerable in society cannot afford. These barriers, we need to make sure that we take them out of the way so that parents and children are able to access services as required. A previous speaker talked about the performance of some of these social action funds. According to the Uganda Poverty Status Report for 2021, produced by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, the poverty rate was lower by 15.75% and 23.7% for households who had at least one beneficiary of Senior Citizens Grants and Uganda Women's Entrepreneurship program interventions, respectively. So we're extremely pleased. Congratulations to you for launching this GROW project that hopefully will go towards supporting this very, very, very successful program. Time? I think on this note is just to congratulate everybody again for all the efforts that have been made, for all the progress that has been made, for women across. We know that without them we cannot achieve our goals, and we look forward to continuously working with you, Mr. President, and your government to be able to help advance these ambitions. Happy International Women's Day to us all. Thank you.
Thank you.